organizations who've really done a lot of research over the last few years. There's reports here in our midst, and there's actually immense treasure of knowledge and data in there. FAO has done a great job, I feel, in putting together the SOFA this year, but World Bank has done excellent country studies and is actually doing more of them. WRI has done great work. Craig, thanks so much for that, and as well have many others. So thank you so much for that. That really helps. I'm from Rabobank, and I expect that you want me to speak finance, and so finance speak I will. Rabobank is a over 120-year-old cooperative bank from the Netherlands, originally a network of farmer credit unions. And our international business is entirely dedicated to food and agribusiness. And of course, transforming global food systems to a more sustainable state is really key for us. And we want to be in the lead, we want to be co-leading on this transformation, but it's not easy. Actually, the whole food industry is a very loosely connected global thing that basically has kind of a movement on its own. And so we need to work together to move that big thing into a sustainable state, which is certainly not the case at the moment. I need to take 2 minutes or so to draw a comparison with an initiative we've recently done, and that's called Agri3. 2 years ago, our managing board surprised most of my colleagues by announcing that Rabobank would unlock $1 billion of financing in forest conservation. And taking away the economic pressure that is enormous these days, that results in ongoing deforestation in tropical areas, savanna regions, etc. So, and that was a surprise, that announcement. And it's not easy to unlock $1 billion of financing, but it's really key. To be very honest, there is very little money available for the SDGs. Let me make this very clear, there's very little money. I totally support what Selina was saying, but this is not just in funding operations of NGOs, it's actually funding transition and new technology and implementation on the ground of methodologies and technology that reduces food loss. So we need to unlock that, and the only way that I see that is a very effective private-public partnership or collaboration in unlocking this finance. And that's why I mentioned Agri3, because the structure basically shows that between 100 to 200 million of US dollar from public sector can unlock that 1 billion in private sector, so total financing money. That is basically a leverage of 1 to 5 to 1 to 10. That is really changing the game if you speak about financing in a situation where there's very little money available for the SDGs. A colleague of mine came to me the other day and said, look, our AB loan portfolio with one of the leading multilaterals globally is doing so well. And she was very proud of it. But it's actually not good news, because AB loans is the technology of financing of 40 years ago. So if the technology of multilaterals of 40 years ago is doing well today, they may not have enough money set free for the SDGs. So we need to really make a serious work of this leveraging of private sector capabilities by some public sector money. Now, how can we do this? And Craig and I of WRI have done a lot of thinking about this, and eventually this evolved into a bigger group with World Bank, Valk, Rockefeller, FAO, the Netherlands government, and Rabobank. And basically what we want to see is a finance facility with at least that same objective of $1 billion a coalition of partners that does this, but also a team that really helps to make things ready for investment. My standpoint about food loss, especially today, is that for those allowing the food to get lost, it's the best economic, rational decision they can make. These are not irrational people. It's just if you harvest plantain in the north of Ivory Coast and the transport to Abidjan costs you more than what it makes in the market on Abidjan, you're not going to transport your plantain. So you keep it in the north of Ivory Coast, but there's only so few people in the north of Ivory Coast. Until someone comes with a slicing machine, an oven, a packing machine, a salting or sweetening machine, and all of a sudden turn your plantain into banana chips. And the banana chips make more on the market of Abidjan, so now all of a sudden the thing makes sense not to let the plantain go to waste. So we need to have these kind of transformational ideas to really change the economic rationale. Now, why do we need a separate fund for this? Because it comes with higher risk and longer required tenors than what commercial banks can do. And the public money is not enough. So that's why we blend the two. We take the public money to take the top of the risk or the last part of the tenor, and we take the private sector money to give you the bulk of your finance volume. So that's really pleading for. I think I have still 50 seconds left, but let me leave it here. Thank you so much.